Alright then, YouTube, this is Snazzy Tank. We're going to start our first series on this channel as how to be a Unicum. It's a very highly discussed topic. Everybody wants to be one. Lopnev isn't one. I'm definitely not one, but he's definitely a better player and is in the top, 1% of players in this game, at least on the North American server. Plays for Villain, one of the biggest clans over here. They're very good, they're very coordinated, and they do a very good job of controlling a lot of the map. They've been around for a while. So, the series is going to show you how to make smart decisions, highlight the dumb decisions that the enemy team makes, and part of Lopnev's team makes, and he's not even immune from that. He makes one poor decision that's debatably poor in this game, and we're going to tell you about that. So, what he's playing right now is a T-62A, which is a very highly armored turret. Has a very highly armored turret on a medium tank chassis, and he's going to go and play where I think the majority of medium tanks should play, and that's right in the center of your team, right on this ridge line here. He's going to go for some initial spots, knowing he's pretty fast, and he can probably get there first. And he does have a fairly strong turret, so he doesn't have to worry too much about being shot over this range. So he pops up into this bush here. What he's going to spot first is two of the heavy tanks, and really the meta from this map has changed. People usually just play the sides. Now everyone plays the middle. I'm not sure what spot to switch that around, but I like it. It makes it more fun. So he takes a very interesting shot into T125, which highlights the idea that something that Unicums do very often. They take a lot of shots, and not many of those shots at a very high percentage. The reason for this is that if your goal is to do 5,000 damage a game in a tier 10 match, that's not a very unattainable goal. You can do that fairly easily, but you can't do it if you only take 4 or 5 shots per game, even if those 4 or 5 shots all hit and all penetrate. You need to be taking low percentage shots, the 10% penetration shots, things that are going to just raise your damage counter. Even if they only do it once every 5 games, you should be taking those because those all matter. Every little bit of damage counts. So that's something Lopnev does a very good job of here, and you're going to see how efficiently he uses his ammunition by the end of this game. So, Lopnev here is fighting against his T125. He has a strong turret, failed him very early in the game, but it's been doing a pretty good job since. It made up for it by stopping that artillery shell, which would likely have taken him out of this game right there. So, still playing the ridge line, but he's playing inside of his team. He knows where the limits are in this map. He knows where the enemy is right now. He knows where he needs to be, and that is not directly in the face of the enemy. So, he's fine playing his turret here, but if he was on either of the sides, he'd likely be being shot from at least 2 or 3 of the enemy players. His goal is to be a little bit sneaky, not expose himself too much, and to survive the game, which is the most important thing if you want to be a higher win rate player in this game. You need to last a long time, because the longer you're alive, the more shots you can take, even if you don't win the game. So, we're going to have a good contrast to that by the end of this game between the only Unicum that they have on their team, the Bobo player in the FT4005, versus Lopnev in the T62A. So, game is kind of being a little bit stale right here. People are popping up, popping over, taking shots, doing fun things like that. Lopnev is keeping an eye on the west side of the map. He sees that there's a light tank over there. He actually sees a Type 61 as well. So what he's going to do is he's going to protect his tank destroyer and his heavy tank over there by getting some side shots into them. Those are very long reload tank destroyers with high damage. So they likely get one shot in and then take a whole bunch of damage from a little light tank that's skirting around behind them. So the RU-251 doesn't stand much of a chance against a tier 10 medium, so he just unfortunately gets tracked, and then Lopnev takes a invis shot into that bush and takes him out. So unfortunately the T-30 dies to artillery, which was a little bit predictable because they just sat in the back there, but he prevented the Type 61 and the M41 from being pushed straight up there and overpower the team in the back. So now that that is settled, Lopnev takes his attention and focuses it to the village. He sees a lot of tanks in there and doesn't see many of his own. He's not going to charge in there face first and try and do some damage because he's likely to die to that. Instead, he takes very high percentage shots against the E75, misses a couple of them, loads an heat round just to confirm that he gets some damage in here. Now he's taking side shots at an E75. He doesn't really need the heat, but as long as it doesn't shoot the traps, it's okay. E75 notices he's taking a bunch of damage from his right side, so Lopnev switches over to APCR because he sees the fence he has to shoot through. Unfortunately, the fence and the high angle that Lopnev is sitting at causes him to not penetrate that shot, but he's reduced the E75 to a very low amount of damage, which is a very low amount of health actually, which is definitely what you want to do with those kind of scary tier 9 heavy tanks. The M103 and the E75 are still very powerful tanks. Even in a tier 10 game, they can definitely penetrate anybody on Lopnev's team. So Lopnev realizes that he's about to get pushed in on by those 5 tanks in the village, so he pops back here, gets behind his team, uses his team as a shield because that's what you should do. You're working as a team. You are the most valuable player on your team. You because you can trust yourself to continue doing damage and not just being a coward and hiding behind them, especially if you've proven already you can do a bunch of damage. So he sees the FE 4005, which is a very valuable target for it is, because that is the best player on their team, and the FE 4005 is not a dumb player and is just going to back him. He doesn't really care. He'll get damage at some point. He's probably gotten a bunch of damage already. He has 2 kills. But now Lopnev is going to pop over this hill here and just kind of take a look at the village. Now, he's going to try and take some shots at the East 95, but the East 95 is going to get killed, and he's going to notice one little thing here. There's a Grill 15 just pushing in here. He's probably tunnel visioning on the T110E5, doing exactly what the FE4005 did not do. He's pushing in, he's going to get himself killed. He hasn't got a shot in yet, no one's taking any damage, and he's about to die. He's pretty much gone in 3-2. Or lucky, survives a little longer, but he is dead, and that's exactly what he should not do. M41 is going to be one of the more valuable tanks in this game for the enemy team. He's a low tier light tank, but he is their vision. Their team is stacked with slow, high alpha tanks, heavy tanks, tank destroyers, and those are tanks that need vision. And if you don't have that vision, you're pretty much useless unless you push right into field spaces. So Lopnev knows this. He hides inside of his team. He takes shots at an M103. Sees Star Fury's going down there. He doesn't want to waste Star Fury's shot with a low health heavy tank. So TDs have very long reloads and they don't have many shells. So if you were to save your tank destroyer from having to take a shot, it can make sure that he can do a little bit of damage if he needs to in the future. So again, IS-7, pretty much no health. He does not want Star Fury to have to take this shot because he's more valuable if he keeps his reload counter to 0. So IS-7 pops out, doesn't know he's there, shoots him in the lower plate, which is exactly what you should do. IS-7s are not that scary when you know where to shoot them. So now he's in the village. He's now the point tank for his team against the Egg Tiger and the T-30 in the village, which is not where he wants to be. So he just kind of screws around for a little bit, drives in circles, and waits for his team to support him. There's 2 full health tanks in there. He is not full health, he's close to it, but he doesn't want to be the point tank. He can do a lot of damage very quickly, and his job is to do that damage, not to die to the enemy. Vision is not as important right now for Lopnev's team. They know where the 2 most important tanks are. They're a little bit concerned about the FE 4005, but he's kind of just gone off in the corner. And Lopnev is just going to, in his mind, keep an eye on him. So, M41 popped up. Lopnev knows how important he is, so he just tries to take a shot at him. It was good situational awareness there by him. Takes another shot, misses, and then the M41 disappears and goes back for another 3 minutes. So, refocuses his attention on the town. There's now a tortoise in the village. The tortoise is a little bit scary, but this is not a very good tortoise. This tortoise is going to fire a very interesting round at him consistently. So, there's the HE. It's a big scary 15 damage. Lopnev is not too worried about that, so he's going to just sit here, take in the high percentage Cupola shots, whittling down this tortoise, getting all that damage, getting all that win 8. He's up to 7,000 win 8 already in this game. There's still a good 9 months left. So even if he doesn't win this game, he's going most likely to make a profit here with the premium account, and he's just going to keep stacking that win 8 up and up and up and up. So Tortoise, not a very smart player. You're one of the highlights here. You should not be doing that. Now, M41 is back. He's doing exactly what he should not do. His team knows exactly where Lopnev's team is. He knows where every single tank is. So what he should be doing is hanging out on the sidelines, taking cheeky side shots into everybody so that everyone gets whittled down slowly. Instead, he drives through the village, loses almost all of his health. Unfortunately, doesn't die right this second, but he just does a completely useless scout. Everyone knew where everyone was. There's no reason for him to drive through the village here. He should have hung out with the FE 4005, which is somewhere on the edge of the map, sniping and using the T-30 and the Egg Tiger as spotters. So, the Egg Tiger's only 1 shot left, so Lopnev takes that shot, which is the debatable decision. It's going to work out for him in the end, but it was a lot of damage to take when you're a little bit uncertain what was left. But it evened the odds a little bit. It's 2-3, and it's kind of this is where we contrast fast-moving, good vision tanks with not a lot of armor, and fairly high DPM, low alpha, with high alpha tank destroyers and an artillery who don't have the greatest vision. So if he stays on this side of the hill here, using the T-49 as a spotter, he can easily take out the T-30 without having to worry too much about the FE-4005, which is good. However, there is an artillery, and the proper call here, because the FE-4005 is slow and on the other side of the map, is to drive, get that artillery, and then potentially sit in the cap circle. Because if he gets that artillery and the FE-4005 sits on their cap, it's still very easy for his team to cap out. I do not expect the bubble player to go and sit on their cap because he knows this as well. He's going to beeline it straight back to his cap, but at that point it's 2v1 against a team that has way better vision and way better DPM, meaning that although the FE-4005 is very likely to get a shot into someone, he's probably not going to win this game. So Lopnev plays this game enough to know exactly where the artillery is going to be sitting, which is out in his back corner here, like every artillery. Artillery doesn't care. He now realizes he's about to die, but too late for him. And you can notice Lopnevs firing his HE here because he knows he has very low ammunition left, which is very important to keep an eye on. He's only got 6 shots left, but that's more than enough to take out an FP4005, especially if he keeps the T49 alive. So, very good communication by Lopnev and his T49. They're going to go sit in the cap circle. They're going to force the hand of the FP4005, which is exactly what the FP4005 expects. These players probably have played against each other multiple times in Clan Wars at some point. T49 is going to sit in the front, T62A in the back, which is smart because T49 has higher camo, higher view range. He is going to be what's spawning the FP4005. It is up to Lopnev to do most of the damage because the T49 has a very long reload but a very high alpha gun, and he is only going to be lucky to get one shot into the FP4005, so it's very important that Lopnev stays alive. The bubble player is not going to do the dumb thing here, which is drive straight across the field. He is going to be smart. He is going to pop up on the off the radar of both of these tanks, but he's only got one shot and about a 20-second reload, so it should be a fairly easy kill for Lopnev's team. You can see Lopnev is almost out of ammo. He's conserving his ammo he's using it very smartly. He's not taking the worst shots possible. And there's the FP4005 who made a misplay here by loading HE. He probably expected to find the T49 first. But that's going to cost him the game because Lopnev still got to live with a little bit of health left. So he's going to charge in here. He knows the FP4005 is a very long reload. T49 is just going to keep him spotted, but Lopnev pretty much has free reign here to use all of his ammunition, just firing shots into this full health bubble player. And you can kind of notice the bubble player kept all his stuff. That's something that all good players will do. They'll try and survive as long as possible to get as much damage as can. So, flash shot, Faden's metal, very important. Keep your health, watch the map, make sure you're making smart decisions and not doing anything dumb. This was Snazzy Tank on just going over Lopnev's gameplay on how to be Unicum. Like, comment, subscribe. I talked too fast for too long, so I'm just going to end this here. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.